Okay, so let's go to my list here. So my plan is to meet once a quarter this year. So do a meeting in spring of some sort. We would do a short camp every weekend in the summer so that teams can get together and actually start practicing together and get to know each other and find out what works and what doesn't work. And then probably something in the fall because there'll be another scouting year starting in the school year or whatever. I know. Planning on cutting off team registration January 2020. But that's a soft cutoff. It just depends on people that are interested but haven't actually joined, sort of thing. And then spring, summer, before we go, we want to do a shakedown cruise. Again, probably just a weekend because we can't afford to throw away a whole bunch of vacation days because you had to save up for 10 years to get this. But again, we got to get used to traveling in convoy and all that stuff. There are a lot of the people that are coming who've never done it, including radio and all that stuff. So, any comments on that or suggestions? Or
have you ironed out what radio system you are preferring?
Probably GMRS because I've got a bunch of them that I can loan, and my truck has a quad band ham radio in it that can listen and talk to that. I can listen to CD, but my radio doesn't do AM, so I can talk to you, but it sounds like most of you guys have CDs, right?
Yeah, we all have CDs.
Most of the Scout cars are going to come with nothing. So it's easier for them to give a handheld than it is to do something else.
So that may be something that we can look at as a spring thing, is vehicle setup, and if you want, Fred and I did one last year as part of the thing. If you want us to do a presentation, we can do something like that up for you.
That's a
and
good
go
idea.
along that way.
Yeah,
I voluntold you again, Fred. Well, we've got everything
Glad
down
I'm
from
not the
last
only
year.
one who voluntold.
yeah,
I've
it's
just
not new, right? So, but it's a good idea because there'll be a lot of people who this is the first time they've done anything like this. So.
Yeah, because I've started to put a list together of, just little things that we run into, because we are gonna do some extensive gravel that you're gonna have issues on vehicles that are gonna come up.
Yeah.
Right, and that's, and if you want us to do something like that, let us know, we can get.
That was great.
On a side note, we sell two radios at work. They're probably gonna be cost.
Okay.
Not your track tire radios, right?
But are they?
The GRMS ones?
Okay. I've got 5.
And the program too, so if someone's got a certain type, as long as I know what frequency they are, what channels,
Oh.
I can program them to be that channel.
Okay.
Because CBs have their limitations, the
Yep.
handhelds have their limit.
Yeah, it's,
Any of the GRMS handhelds have their
Well, as soon as you're
limitations.
inside of a steel cage,
Yeah.
hard doesn't work that well.
Well, like, for example, our CD, we have a handheld. It
Yeah.
will only go one car at a time if you're
Yeah.
on the highway. If that.
The
I don't know what the GRM was.
well, the little ones, they're most of them are not that great, just because of the limitation in Canada. You're not allowed to have more than 2 watts. You can't have a removable antenna.
Yeah.
This is what I have mostly is the bow fans. These are, we'll do a whole bunch of frequencies, but you can put an external antenna on it just to magnet on the card, and it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And you can get an antenna for $20, and then they're cheap.
Yeah.
So that's, I have a bunch of those, and I also have several boxes of little ones.
The little Motorola ones.
Yeah, the ones that these guys take out and lark with and do crazy things with and whatever. But they all come back and they still work.
Some might have been
Let it go,
replaced.
let it go, let it go, he's making notes, let it go.
Wrong time to be honest.
Anyway, so if somebody needs a radio, we can run one. But yeah, even like this is $60. It's not expensive. One of those.
Changes my understanding of Scout's honor.
It's a learning process.
You put him on the spot and there you go.
I have seen red faces before. This sort of sticking with me.
Anybody have an idea of what time is good for a summer thing and roughly how far we wanna go? Cause we can get, we know of a place up in near Algonquin that's Crown Land, it's free, so it's like 3-hour drive, but it's cheap. And absolutely no facilities. Which
And
must scare some
well,
people.
but the other thing too is that there's probably lots of trailing, lots of, you know, if you guys want, cause outside of Algonquin, you can.
Yeah,
There's tons of forestry roads up there.
yeah,
So if you guys want to off-road for a bit and come back to base camp type thing, you could do that too, and
Doesn't matter, whatever's,
yeah, okay.
maybe 10, 12 hours, maybe a bit of a stretch, 3, 4 hours on Conquet's not that big of a deal
No,
to disappear on a Friday, well, maybe not Friday night, but
yeah, you gotta
early
go up-
Friday afternoon.
go up to
more
400 on Friday and then
Yeah.
back on Sunday, so you really don't have a day, so.
But it's more or less driving the convoy,
Yeah.
with the base camp set up, kind of a routine's gonna be for the month.
Basically, yeah, because we'll have to repeat that routine every day for 30 days on the trip, right, so,
So kind of like iron out before the first.
yeah, and we go past Weber's and all that. What's the difference? Alright, probably don't need to plan any further at this point, because we will find out what is missing by then, and work on the rest of it. Yeah, so for 2020, basically it'll be a winter meeting like this, then a pre-departure shakedown meeting of some sort, to make sure that everything's good, there's no drips and stuff coming out of cars, and no, the oil's not supposed to be that color and that kind of stuff, right? Yeah, and doing things like change a tire, and if there's a puncture, you know, actually see if the lug nuts come off, if they haven't been for years or whatever.
John said he'd come out and do basic maintenance if someone wants to,
That would be good.
so, or anything, or if for those who have basics, he said he'd come out and do some advanced repairs if he can, so.
Yeah.
We have a mechanic who's willing to come out and teach whatever you wanna do, take apart whatever you wanna do and help out, so.
Yeah, he can put it back together, it'll still work.
Yeah, that's the idea, so that's what I'm saying, you can, is there, so we do have John, and he said he will help out. If
That would be
needed
awesome.
on anything to go that one there.
Does anyone have any problems with the proposed trip dates at this point? In terms of vacation time or whatever?
Refresh on that.
July 18th to August, what is it now?
My birthday will be in the middle of that, so it'll be great.
Well, we'll bring it.
Plug.
It'll be a
Shameless.
hybrid.
Perfect,
Plug.
you'd be in like, what day is your birthday?
July 27th.
Oh, okay, well, let's see, you'll be in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
So much to do.
To August 18th, so,
Yeah.
July 18th to August 18th.
yeah. And the other really nasty question, is there any problems with extending it slightly if we run into a problem? I'm trying to build some contingency.
There may be, I've got two things going on, because it may be tough for me, I may ship my vehicle halfway out
Okay,
and meet up with you halfway out, and do something along that line. I'm still a little,
okay.
to get 4 weeks off, but as it sits right now, I'm going, so.
Well, the dates aren't hard and fast, but as you're applying for time off, they need to stop changing, right? So that.
Yeah.
I'm a teacher, it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, that's right, so, and I work from home, so. Not an issue at this
She's
point?
not worried.
Okay,
I'm getting a little more worried, but that's okay, I'll figure it out.
Oh,
is there anything that we can do to make it easier?
No,
All right, that's fine.
I'll figure it out, one way or another.
I just want to see it.
Yeah. So So you have lots of time after the trip.
Yeah. Well, when John get back, I don't know.
Yeah, that's right.
So you, like, extending it may, if it becomes an issue, it looks like we're gonna have enough cars
Right.
and vehicles that if somebody is stuck and then has to be back, we can, not that you wanna do that, but we could
No.
divide up the group.
I remember with the out there Ontario guys went out to gravel travel last year, and they broke their truck in Thunder Bay on the way back.
Yeah.
Took them, it's like, just had this one little bit left to go.
Yeah.
But stuff happens, right? So, okay. So the main thing for tonight is route planning. So I went through some of the points of interest. They didn't put them all on here that you actually sent me, but I just did some of the basic bits. And I cut out BC. And we're at 15,500 kilometers, or about 179 driving hours. So that boils down to, we drive 8 hours a day. On the driving days, it gives us 22 driving days, which gives us a few other days we can do other stuff like not drive or sleep in or hike or do side trails or do whatever else. I don't want to do all 30 days of hard driving. And we need contingency days for weather and wheels falling off or whatever. Yeah. And I just started advertising the trip to Western Canadian Scouts as a, we'd like to visit, or if you want to join our part of the leg or whatever. So actually I got, Scouts Canada has a marketing department that is opening themselves up for other groups to use. So I sent off our application to see if we can get some help with the marketing and they know some places where we need grants and stuff. So part of that is going to be contingent on having some cultural / educational opportunities for the youth, because if we can tie those in, we can sometimes get grant money to go with it, right? So Aboriginal or First Nations is fairly easy, there's actually money there. Arts Council has money, but we have to do something artsy or something, I don't know. I'm just scraping right now to see where we can get money from. So, Manitoba, anything, I'm just gonna skip Ontario. Well, actually maybe we shouldn't. Is there any interest in doing anything in Ontario other than just
Driving through it.
driving through it? Because there's Science North and a bunch of other stuff too, right? So,
See, Ontario's like our backyard, right? So,
yeah, we can do that stuff some other time, right?
yeah.
And Manitoba has easy access to Saskatchewan. It has the Canadian Museum of Human Rights, which would probably tie into the school project nicely. There's kind of nothing else there that I know of, though.
The mint is in Winnipeg.
Yeah, they don't give out samples, so
No, they don't. They give out tours.
they get a lot of questions.
Come back with that gold bar.
That's right. You're not using it. Yeah, so anything interesting in Manitoba?
Well, the mint, you said?
Yeah. So when I was mentioning sending out the call for scout groups, what I'm hoping to do is get some building or campground offers back at some point. Scouts Canada has campgrounds across Canada, and a lot of cases if you're attentive, you can camp there for $2 a head a night. So it's a bit cheaper than a provincial park.
Mhm.
So, and they have sometimes flush toilets. Me personally, I would like to go through southern Saskatchewan in one direction at least, because almost nobody goes there, for one, and part of this is to see stuff that most people haven't seen yet, and everyone has at least seen a postcard of the Regina area, which is the flat part. This is the bumpy part that has oil. And there's also a bunch of dead dinosaurs and stuff over there too, which is kind of cool. So. But we have to get across at some point. There's kind of nothing. There's moose jaws down here somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's up there. So that's, we didn't have a lot of,
Well, I think you wanna try and avoid doing the same you know, 17, we're a little stuck on Ontario.
Yeah,
But out west, if we can make a loop so that we're not traveling the same routes,
Yeah, I think.
especially,
yeah,
You want to loop
Down
as
like
far.
that.
When you look at the loop, when you're going through, especially when you're going through Saskatchewan and Alberta, Cal wants to do down towards the Badlands, so
Yeah.
I would say you go, when you're on your way up, you go Regina and down through the bottom, then come up through Calgary. On your way back, you're going to go Edmonton and come down through Saskatoon.
yeah,
And that way you're looping back around.
yeah, so you're not driving on the same road until you
Yep.
hit Winnipeg.
Well, yeah, that's exactly
There's
it.
other options there.
that's what I mean. Like, once you hit Manitoba, you're kinda stuck.
Yeah, you're pretty much are stuck, so
We can take 11 back as opposed to 17, but
it's no difference.
It's not really.
It's the other
one
side.
one side's the tree versus another
Side
side.
of the tree. Yeah. Yeah.
RCMP headquarters
I've
in
seen
Battleford.
nothing out west, so.
Which province is it?
Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan.
Oh. Unfortunately, the Central Corner
RCMP
gas has
training
been
grounds.
taken down.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
So
Yeah,
you used to be able to tour that, now they just got the markers
Corner
where the
gas.
set used to
No,
be.
no, no, he was saying about the RCMP.
Oh, that's right, their headquarters is in,
The
Saskatchewan.
Battleford.
Yeah, on the way back through.
Oh, okay.
There's also, what lake is it? There's a lake up there that's, really, it's shallow, but, it's like on a migration path for most of the birds in North America. I don't remember what the name of the lake is. I can ask my daughter-in-law's from Saskatchewan, I can ask her. If you'd like.
That'd be cool.
And when you're in Saskatchewan, you have multiple scout camps too for overnight stays.
Yep.
It's the other part to go there for.
Not a lot of crown land that you can actually get to.
No.
If
Or
it's
that's
flat-
on, that's
if
on
it-
the main highway. You're
Well,
gonna go-
if it's flat, it's got plants on it, somebody owns it, so you have to go north of Prince Albert to get it to, and you can't. You can't in winter.
Is there anything that someone wants to see on your way out?
Canada's largest geothermal electrical plant is at Estevan.
That's in the south.
I think once we set up a preliminary route,
Right,
we can do a little bit more
Research on what's around
research
that
on
area.
what's around there,
Yeah.
yeah.
as opposed to going, okay, we're going this,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
I think that's,
yeah,
I think that's the idea of this meeting is to,
Yes, to get
Is
a
to get-
preliminary route.
Yeah,
you know, if something stands out that I wanna see, I mean, you could say, well, I wanna see the Columbia ice fields, you know what I mean, then
Yep.
we can put it on the route and then we can plan,
yeah, me too.
How would happen, how that would happen?
yeah.
We got the dinosaur park in Alberta.
Yeah, so there's Drumheller,
There's Vulcan.
right, so, let's. Vulcan, Alberta.
Which program are you using?
This, what's it called here? Road Trip Planner.
Okay. Not familiar.
Yeah, it's pretty decent actually. So that's actually fairly close to, Drumheller. I wouldn't wanna walk, but.
How
what
far
else?
south do you have you going for Alberta?
Well, the only place that I wanted to hit specifically was Drumheller. So up here, so just north of Calgary a little bit. But we can, what's cool we wanna do?
What's that?
What's
Well, I was
cool
just
we
seeing how
wanna do?
close you guys were going to Pessa. So if you're gonna go out and you wanna stop at cool places, Camp Pessa is the scout camp in the mountains.
That sounds cool.
That's it, but you're going way north then, that's why I wasn't sure. You're going way south, cause
Well-
Pessa is,
But ultimately, yeah.
Well, you're gonna go, where's, did you get the address, you can plug it on so we can see it on the
Yeah.
map?
yeah, I'm pulling it up now.
Are you going out and back?
Cause it's outside of Cranbrook.
Oh,
So you can do, going north, going out,
Yeah.
and come through the south, coming back.
Yeah, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or vice
Yeah,
versa.
that's go that one there. I was just putting on a place where you could really, if you're gonna go through Alberta to see the mountains and through that one there, and you're going up that one there, plus it's a good place to stay.
mhm.
Did it plug on there? I didn't,
I'm waiting
looking
for
at
it
the
to
address.
load, it's not giving me, here it is. I'm just trying to Google Maps what I have already had on there so that it was loading up on. Camp Pessa. Directions, It is Pincher Creek, number 9. So Pincher Creek, number 9, Alberta.
Oh, it's down there, okay.
So it's quite low.
It's quite low. That's why I was wondering how, if you were if there was anything on your initial route to go that one there, it's way down. That's what, there's lots of other camps in there. It's just one of the biggest ones around. You could plan as a stop out to go there for 2 reasons. One, there'd be a ton of stuff to do for the youth, and the area I already know is your guys' heaven. God, like literally, it is filled with logging area around there, and there's tons of roads where you guys could go up and down the mountains all around. So as a stopover point, it's kind of a cool stopover point. If you were going to do a day or 2 somewhere to be, and wanted to be in the mountains where
What's down there?
it's way down. That's why I wasn't sure what your plan idea was, or where your route idea is, where you wanted to go. And you can put it on there as a point of interest to look if there's anything around to go there. It's just, it's the largest scout camp in Canada.
Well, and it could be all depend on what time of night it is too. Like if it's late at night, we could always see if we could stay there.
Oh,
Yeah.
staying there won't be a problem. That's what I'm saying. You just have to
Yeah.
book it. I'm sure they said you've got thousands of acres of land for the pull-ins out there, so that's what I said. It'd be a good place to work that one there into. If you were going to go and you wanted a couple days stopover, or someone wanted to go and off-road in the mountains, there's lots of opportunity down that one there. I was just pulling out what else is around on my list.
As far as roadways, what are you thinking? Are you thinking 401 driving? Are you thinking, like, up, no, once we get up north, it's a non-issue,
You
right?
get what you get, yeah.
But across the prairies and that, are you thinking, well, let's get on, call it the Trans-Canada and go, or
Most
are
of
you
it,
thinking,
yeah.
okay,
Just to get, because most of the stuff that we're really interested in seeing is
Oh,
out
west.
here, right?
I'm-
So,
just asking the question, it's just.
we're also still waiting to hear what some of the other teams are bringing in terms of vehicles, because it's gonna limit what they're able to do. So, having places like this, or, and, I don't know what's real, Cappy, I guess is his name, right? But
Yep.
he's got some ideas, but we haven't chatted much yet, because we didn't have any date range.
Because you're depending on what goes. When Cal and I were talking to go there, Cal really wants to do the Badlands through Saskatchewan. Well, you're not taking anywhere. You're not taking the highway. off
Those are
there.
not prime roads, no.
No, that's the sense. So you go there. I think you're pretty much going to have to highway it till Brandon.
But they're paid.
And then,
Well,
yeah.
that it was more out. I was
Yeah.
more concentrating out west. Like,
And then
yes, if you
so
back up. Sorry, I'm being a pain.
Yep.
But you know, if you want to come across the south, is there a road across the south, or are we stuck on?
Yeah,
major?
there's basically
Just major.
gravel and,
Okay.
it's
There's
somewhat
paved- there's
gravel.
paved road.
Northern route's called the Yellowhead.
yeah, but you got the southern route because you can go Regina and then go Swift Current, Medicine Hat, and run the whole bottom trench, and you're at least on highway that's paved road. It's not dirt.
Yeah.
And you can off road around there if you want, depending where you want to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily worry about us off-roading per se.
There's, yeah.
No, I
down
just
here,
meant like you can
there's
go
almost
off
nothing
the
that you-
main part.
There's almost nothing you can legally off-road on,
No.
Yeah,
because it's gonna be somebody's farmland.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm just curious whether you're thinking of, you know, I mean, some guys will do it and are trying to avoid, I mean, I'll use the interstate word,
Yeah.
but avoid the 4-lane highways. And avoiding that somewhat becomes a little easier to convoy in,
Yeah.
True.
right?
I think your big goal is to avoid the 400s through any major city. Like you don't want to
Big
take
flat.
you don't want to be taking 4-lane highway through Calgary, Edmonton, or any of that stuff.
Any more than 3 convoying on that?
No,
It's
that's
one
what
of
I'm
the-
saying.
It's one of those things where you have to go, okay, guys, it's a free-for-all until we get to the other side of town.
Yeah,
And
that
we'll
would
meet
be-
at
We'll
this guy's
meet at
stuff.
this-
And that's what I'm
place,
saying. What
yeah.
I said. To me, that would be the part where you're avoiding. Unless you're planning on going into Calgary or into there for stop out points over there, I would 100% detour around them by far.
Well, here's a question then, are some of the big cities an interesting place to stop, or are we just gonna? It's a city.
I'm more
There's a tower
interested in
before
seeing
the
scenery than I
But
am.
West
sitting in
Edmonton
the-
Mall, but,
I said West Edmonton Wall on the way back.
Yeah.
Because we're stopping
It's a
in
big mall.
for a break for the kids, which would have fun. Like you could stop on there.
Go
It's
around.
not, it's a good stop point wherever you want to go. There's lots of areas you can camp just outside of it, so you could go inside to go there. Elk Island National Park is right there, so you could easily camp in there and go in because it's like 45 minutes from the park into the something like that. If you want to do a day or two, something like that. It'd be the only one, I think, unless someone wanted to go to Calgary to do the Stampede stuff.
Well, we'll be missing that. The grounds will be open.
The grounds are open, but you missed the Stampede. I know. That's what I said.
So I just wanted, is that something that's even interesting, or do we just say, let's just avoid those because cities are cities and we can do other stuff? Is that,
100%, yeah. Done.
is that,
What do you guys want to see on your way up?
there's quite.
I've seen Calgary, I've seen Edmonton, I've seen Medicine Hat.
Yep,
I've
that's
seen
what I figured. You've seen all that
Vancouver,
area.
Yeah.
That's what I said. You're going northern,
I've
right?
seen Grand Prairie, I've
Yeah,
seen
and then
Kings
so-
River.
Well, you just saw Edmonton, so who cares, right?
Yeah, I got the cold twice.
At least it wasn't that big.
Yeah, so then you would avoid that. To me, then you're gonna take the Regina Run, which puts you through that part there, which is take 3 up to 22, and then the nicest drive, which I've been told by many, is taking Highway 22 straight up by the mountains. So you run on inside of Calgary. So you're between Calgary and the mountains.
No, don't, that's right.
Basically, you're running the border of
Oh, up here, okay.
British Columbia and,
Yeah.
and there, and you run straight up there, and it's it.
Okay, so you see the foothills off the side.
Yeah,
You betcha.
Is that through Banff? 22?
Just on the edge of Banff.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is that turning to the Icefield Parkway or not? Or is that besides?
No, it's beside it.
Oh, Icefield Park is this, right? Inside Banff?
Yeah, it's inside.
Okay.
Is that what we took?
And that's where you can decide where you want to cut off. If you want to do the Icefield Parkway, you could then cut off as 22 meets it up, and then it comes in through.
Maybe
Because 410's out of Calgary, right? Go ahead, John,
Yeah.
sorry.
That area in Saskatchewan is called the Quill Lakes.
Quill Lakes.
Okay. Yeah.
That's for that bird sanctuary or that migration?
Where are we? Oh, it's up there, okay.
So that's on the northern.
So on the way back.
So it's a northern line, yeah.
So are we doing Banff? Or
I've been to Banff.
Ice
It's cool though, but
That's
I go
one of the
down.
places
Cool for
I haven't
kids.
been since I was a kid. so I've never
Yeah,
been around
that's-
it,
I mean, anytime some of these guys haven't, I'm assuming some of them haven't been to the mountains, so.
but-
yeah.
You know, what I mean, it's so,
Get attacked
We've
by
got-
an elk in the street, that's perfect.
yeah.
It'd be prime tourist season though.
Yeah.
And that's where I was. That's why I said up 22 and kind of skirting. You're not actually going into it.
But then you get, if you're gonna go to Banff, you go to Lake Louise and
Yeah.
How big's this
Yeah,
one?
but that's,
I've
yeah,
been there.
that will be.
I'm not sure. How many vehicles are you thinking now? Cal?
It's looking like 5, I think.
Okay, so it's
Not that.
That's
not that,
bad.
it's not like it's 15 going
No,
up the.
no.
Okay.
Because we have 2 for sure from here, and you've got
Slow
2.
down at 50 in the city, you can probably keep yourselves together.
Or within sight,
with
Yeah.
the-
or within radio range anyways.
Yeah, we just make sure you have checkpoints that
Yeah,
meet up points.
get out of town and,
Yeah.
and go from there.
If everybody knows the route, we'll all get there.
Yeah.
The other problem, anywhere we're going south where we're gonna have issues is all within cell phone distance,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We're
It's
not
further
gonna be
north where
without-
there's less traffic, where it's
What-
more interesting. Yeah.
But I think we definitely wanna, whether it's 22 or the Icefield Park, I don't know if I know you haven't been, so,
I've been butt kissed.
I mean, it is,
Well, yeah, so you need
I
to see
sense
some.
there
It's
is that,
amazing.
but-
Yeah,
It's
so,
amazing.
and you need to see the ice, you know what I mean, at
Yeah.
least do the ice fields, you know what I mean, it's 3-4 hours just for the guys that are in school to see the, you know what I mean, the
if we're going
grades
that
and
far,
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
It's
the
where do you, it's, but it still comes
It's still
down to where do you draw the line?
Yeah. If
Right,
you
you
can't see
could
everything, because,
yeah.
well, you can, you just can't come back in 3 days. 'Cause-
Yeah.
That's the reason why you book through Ontario.
Yeah.
So when you get that far, you can.
Yeah, that's where you're gonna wanna spend the bulk of your time,
Yeah.
is from,
We did the same when we went out east, so we
yeah,
booked it as fast as we could.
we didn't wanna stop
Yeah.
in Quebec anyways.
Pardon?
We did the same thing. No, you gas up
We
right
drove through.
before the Quebec border, and you
Oh.
gas up as soon as you get into New Brunswick.
Yes. Don't stop in Quebec because everything's French.
Yeah.
And if you're not careful, you end up going to the United States border. My husband said, "You have twice going through Quebec this
Oh,
summer."
God.
My kids were like, Dad, we're going to the United States. No,
So
no.
Cappy's
Yes,
out
we
of,
are.
Cappy's out of Calgary, isn't he, or is he out of,
410X?
yeah,
Yeah.
he's out of
Calgary,
Calgary.
oh, so he's.
Calgary-ish, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, all we have from him is, yes, it sounds cool, I was gonna do top in 2020 anyway. Let's do something together, and we haven't communicated since, because we don't have.
Do you know who
tell
this
him.
guy is?
No.
Okay, so he runs a YouTube channel, an overland YouTube channel. It's 410 XO.
410 Expeditions or 410X.
410X, and he's Canadian, but he's done the route up to, did he go all the way up or not? He just did
Where?
the Alaskan highway, he didn't
You do
do all the
Alaskan
way,
Highway?
I've done that.
the whole,
In Dawson.
yeah. And so,
I don't know
where
if
was it,
he
the
did it.
signpost?
Oh, sign forest for the.
Yeah.
I don't know where that's.
Starts with a
Outside of
W, I
Dawson,
thought.
isn't it?
Maybe.
But that's what he does, YouTubes of all the traveling up and
Right.
down these things, and he's Canadian, so he's, as
Probably
opposed to
done
dealing with all the US
Maybe.
big budget YouTube channels, this
Yeah.
guy does a great job at
And he's super
Canadian.
friendly, dude.
Yeah, he's a character and a half.
Okay, so,
If you're shipping your Jeep, where are you gonna ship it to?
I wanted to
Super
be out of
Cappy.
Canada stores. I gotta work that through.
Okay.
They're in Calgary, they're in Edmonton, they're in all the way through. I've got a meeting with them next week, that I'm meeting up with the big wigs to see what kind of concessions that we can get from the head office, so. That may be as simple as, if we have an issue, that we're gonna get immediate service, rather than sit and wait and go from there, because they've got 70 stores, so based on what everybody's driving, we should be able to get everybody covered one way or the other.
okay. Yeah, I guess you're gonna have to work out the details on that at some point, because I don't wanna overuse the,
Extend the courtesy of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to who do we need to talk to, and then we'll probably need some letters from you guys to send out.
yeah,
I'm going out there anyways to head office, so.
okay. Cool. I was gonna ask you if we can use your logo at some point. Do we need official permission for
Probably,
that, or?
but we'll get it work through.
Because I wanna be able to put you guys up as a sponsor.
Yeah. Wellington Motors is no problem.
Oh,
You know,
the car company.
the Auto Canada,
Right.
I'll double check on that.
Okay.
We'll see what they can,
Just ask Mom to ask.
oh yeah.
For sure. The big wigs love my mother.
It's who you know.
I take 6 hours to get an email response, my wife gets 6 minutes.
Sounds familiar, right, Cal?
Yeah. You can look at it two ways though, either they're really friendly and they like you, or they're afraid of you.
Yeah,
Either one of them works, right?
yeah. So, let's keep working.
Okay, so,
So we're gonna go near the
what do we
band
wanna
or
do
go
about BC?
through? Band.
Because cutting out BC saves us almost $1,000. But,
So,
What road goes up then?
what you basically do is you go into,
Or over there, what was devastated, like,
well, most of it, sorry, just over, Kelowna, what was that, what I initially planned was going to Kelowna up through Kamloops,
Right.
but
Yeah.
this road going up there, which is kinda cool, and it's between the two.
Yeah.
I'm saying it's, I don't know what's going on, I've been on that road. And then you end up hitting this guy, which will take you to Dawson.
so I'm struggling.
Chilliwack and Hope and-
Sorry.
Can you highlight the route will it give you the route now, just so we can see?
Yes, let's do,
Sort of the, it just allows us to see exactly.
He had lines on there
I know it.
earlier today. So
I'm the
but-
same, I use the
just
same,
couldn't see
I
that.
use the same program, so
Yeah.
I just,
they only put some lines on when you calculate the route, so we'll not be changing things.
and because we've got a couple extra tabs in there.
So there's getting out,
Yeah,
getting up
we just
to
did, we didn't,
Dawson.
yeah, we just didn't put the
Going
band
like-
in the ice.
Yeah, we
cream
just
park.
extend out to where the Green
Put,
streak is on the
if
left.
you put,
Yeah.
Does that help? Is it?
I don't think it went
No, no,
down
no.
to the ice fields.
it didn't,
Yeah,
it
don't
didn't,
go to Banff.
That wasn't, hadn't been decided yet.
Can you tag it though, just
Um,
to see?
Probably won't make much of a difference
It's through there, yeah.
in terms of.
well, I'm just trying to
time
see where the road, where you're traveling, like, to go into BC, you're going,
Yeah, you
way
have.
far
You have to look
west.
this
down
way
here
and then
way
come
up.
up
So
and
yeah,
then come
it's-
back and then go back up.
yeah.
So right now it's 15,400 kilometers.
So you gotta go right to the edge of Jasper, has nobody gotten into the fields?
No, I think he's way over.
Yeah, Jasper's down here, right?
Yeah,
So
we're
we're
going
way
up
up there.
through Calgary and Edmonton.
Yeah, I think,
No, I know that, but he's got the extra dots where the,
Well, yeah, we
Here
are
and there.
putting extra plate, yeah, I didn't get them, so. We put,
I think,
I'm pulling up on the small map, that's why I
Yeah.
can see on that one there.
yeah.
So what he's got is here, on his map, so here and here are gonna be Banff, Jasper. So if you guys wanna do Banff, Jasper, you're gonna come in here, and right at the base down here is what I was talking about, is the scout camp where
Yeah.
Bessa is.
yeah, that's the
Then you
one.
run literally straight up through here, and then through here, and then you would cut up like this,
Yeah.
right across the edge of here. So you would take this out, and you would come around like this. So that would be your road to come out.
That's what I was
Yeah.
looking for, is
Yeah,
just
exactly.
to
So
see.
Yeah.
you just gotta follow the green line there. There's actually a highway that runs straight up through here, comes out there.
Perfect.
You do a little bit of a U back in like this,
Backward.
and then you can jump on.
Be a beautiful drive.
That is,
The, the,
Yeah.
Not
the
that much
downside is you're gonna add K, but you're gonna want time because of the altitude and the amount of gas you're gonna burn. Because that is literally riding there. So that's what I'm saying. It's a great path to go. It's
I think you're gonna wanna play in the mountains.
and that's what I'm saying. That's what I think. I think playing in the mountains on that thing without going into BC
Yeah.
and getting the extra K, I think that's the route to go because you're gonna be able to ride the edge of the mountains and you're kind of getting your maximum bang for your buck out of it
Yeah.
because you can see the mountains, but you don't
Just,
actually
just
have
look
to
to your
go
left,
to
you
BC.
see BC.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
So, if you,
That's right.
if you
Yeah.
put Banff and Jasper in there and then recalculate,
Yep.
just, sorry,
Just to see what the,
I'm not worried, you know what I mean, we're going for 30 days, if it's an extra, I
That's
mean, for me, 100 and a half.
That's 300 kilometers.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah, I
actually
think that's
$100 in fuel,
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
No, I think that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna go like 1580 to like just short of 16 when you take that path. So it's gonna be, you're gonna see a lot more with a little less there. Because I think if you go right into BC, that's when you're gonna add
That's
way too many K because there's no
Yeah. it's-
direct north route. You kinda gotta go like this and zigzag
Yeah.
through the mountains, where then you're gonna
Because
add.
even when you get close to Jasper, there's Mount Robson Provincial Park.
Yep.
Which is the largest mountain in the Canadian Rockies, I think.
No problem, yeah.
And there's a nice little trail up to Burke Lake and that, but it's a hike.
That's actually on the BC side.
Yeah, but it's right off,
Yeah.
it's not far off.
Yeah, sure. So we'll plug it over there.
And it,
Boom.
okay, there we go.
Yeah, that works.
And then we're at
Yeah.
15,630, so it was 200 kilometers extra.
Yeah, that doesn't include stopping at
Doesn't
that
include in pass.
scout campground.
Oh,
No,
that's
not
right.
that scope.
Yeah, hook the scout campground in there and
I'll
So
add
this
another
guy
one, go
is,
back.
which Scout Camp in Pesa, he's gonna be,
What's that stop 9?
that's Drumheller.
Oh,
So if we take,
if you put the scout camp in it, I'm hoping there's a road straight down there.
so right after, alright. And of course, the route isn't set in stone even when we're out there.
yeah, well, yeah.
As long as we have calculated the cost and whatever, then,
Because we'll be in prime fire season.
yeah, we're gonna have to,
Yeah, that was my concern about whether you were gonna run the mountains or
yeah.
not.
So now we're at 16,000 kilometers. So,
still.
Like I thought.
Can you just blow up the bottom corner? Sorry, I'm being a pain.
Nope.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it's If you wanna book a Drumheller, that's what's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the odd one. So, now there is something similar to Drumheller in southwestern Saskatchewan, it's really hard to find. And
Is it more on the road, on the path? or-
Sort of, yeah, you have to phone ahead, it's a dinosaur park, but you have to phone ahead to make sure that they're gonna be open for you, because,
How far?
Because-
but you know you have the place to yourself over there.
Yeah.
But
It's
because-
not too far off the path, though, is it?
It's not a huge thing, no, but the thing is, if we wanted to, if we're starting to cut corners to cut to for timing.
Well, I think you would, if you go in that part, you wanna see the dinosaur park, is that what you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that's an issue.
Yeah.
No.
I'm wondering though, would it be worth, going straight down here and then jog
That
over
might
this
be
way?
faster,
Yeah, it's probably gonna be cut across, then come up, and then come across.
Yeah.
What's the higher, what's that one there?
What's the dot in the
Oh,
middle?
this
Yeah.
guy's, that's
Calgary.
Vulcan.
Well,
Calgary.
The Vulcan?
Yeah.
What's Vulcan?
it's a tourist attraction for Trekkies.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh! Okay, knock that one off. Brad, you're up.
I'll go solo on that one.
There's nerds going on this trip, we have to be sensitive.
Yeah, we can build that one there. The idea is, he came out of there and came straight down towards
I know.
Impesa, and then went up, and then came across. You would go down here,
Yeah, you
and
go
then
through.
come up. You would
Yeah, if you go down and then go straight up and then from Drumheller
We
come
go
back
across.
across.
Then we come back to Calgary. What are we missing?
Yeah.
You seem to know the
Nothing.
roads better. Are we in the mountains from the scout camp up, or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
On this side,
You're
yeah.
in the foothills for sure.
yeah, you're in the foothills right in the whole turn.
The scout camp's in the mountains, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you're gonna drive into it.
Yeah.
Can, like when you're going to the camp, can you go right to the camp first and then the next day go up South
Yeah,
Vulcan, go up to the place,
Is it
up
through
to
Calgary?
Drumheller.
Yeah.
and then come across?
Yeah, that would work.
in
Yeah.
the camp?
Oh,
That would be my
Yeah.
next.
So
like
Go
that.
straight across,
Here,
and then go
Right
down.
there, yeah.
So you eliminate this track.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although.
And you eliminate going back, like going up to the dinosaurs and back down again.
Yeah,
But what is that? That looks like it's about an hour.
yeah, it's not this part here.
It's about an hour, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm just judging, I don't know, I'm just.
Yeah, well,
My-
Drumhiller's like,
Might be a
I think
bit
it's,
more
I think it's just over an hour outside of Calgary. If I
Yeah,
remember.
so,
But you know what I mean? Like
But
if
it's
you
the
just go,
big loop,
but you,
Yeah,
but,
no, we
right,
could-
so if you
like if you just go straight across, we go to the camp,
Yep.
and then next day go to the
go
Trekkie place, and then up to the
jump around.
dinosaurs, and then
And then cut straight across.
straight
the
across to
Balkan.
Banff.
Yeah, that's a good plan. That would be a way around, yeah.
They'll probably cut out a lot of
Yes.
drive time and more efficient.
go here.
Sounds logical to me.
it's illogical.
What's that?
Illogical.
It's gotta be illogical.
That's an extra thing.
Spot thing, come on.
I know,
Google Maps.
I got it.
Like I said, you're gonna have to contact the scout camp, see what's there, see what they're offering, what programs are running, and whether you can stop for the night and go that one there. And yeah, there, that's much better.
Yeah, actually cut a couple clips off here.
Yeah, that's what it should say.
So,
And that way you still get to see Banff and
yeah, and yeah, you end up in the bottom of Jasper.
I wanna
As
see
well.
Jasper, haven't seen Jasper.
That'll be the money.
and Lake Louise is in there in between there.
In the middle, I believe.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
middle,
you're driving right through Lake Louise.
just north of it.
So not going through Kelowna means we don't see any old Schwabs.
Well, we don't need to see Schwab.
No, that's true.
They can come meet you.
At that age, they'll look the same anyway.
And nobody here's a Rambo fan, so don't worry about Hope.
Pogo. Don't see that either.
Yeah, that's not a bad loop, because then you're coming down, you could go across that one there. So that looks good.
And further north, we have extremely limited choices.
Yeah, well, once you go up there, you have one route.
Yeah.
And so the other K's you're adding on is if you're gonna run out the yellow line.
Yeah, and it's actually not insignificant. So,
Oh, you mean insignificant as a?
it's a decent extra.
It's a
track
big
yellow
extra
line.
track.
Yeah.
But worth it. So you're,
That's where you guys have to
That's the
decide.
question.
That's where you're gonna have to decide on timing and space to go there. I think,
Because
Do
that
that as
looks
part
like,
of your return trip.
yeah, I was thinking,
Yeah,
can you
but
somehow
you-
use it for a return trip?
But if you cut this off, you're cutting off a big chunk,
Yeah.
like easily
3
1,000
days.
kilometers. Yeah.
Which way would you go then? If you took
You
that
would-
section off?
I'm not sure
Right
if you
across?
get
it would come, there's a cross route there. When we referenced it before, there's a,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it's a bush
Well, you
trail.
can't take the ice
Far away.
bridge.
sorry.
can. I think you can eliminate
Little leg
this
up.
part,
We might as well do it.
but, and back.
What's in Yellowknife other than
School.
Yellowknife?
There's a purple high school.
We can stand for gold, just try our luck, pay for field goal.
Yeah.
My buddy grew up in Yellowknife.
Old
Old buddy, yeah, 30 years ago.
30?
Well, the only thing with, well, I guess the only thing with, by leaving the Yellowknife in, if we went the other way, we'd miss the Northwest Territories altogether, right?
No, because we're doing,
Oh, there's still cross up at the
yeah,
top.
Invicta Tuck, right,
Yep.
up here. And Eagle Plains.
I think you leave
Yeah,
Yellowknife in, and then you, based on how your trip is going,
That's true, we can
that's where I would do it. Like, we're gonna go if we have time, and to go there because it's a nice little side trip. If you're gonna go up to see something else, and
On the way back, what's that road on the way back?
Which?
To the right, yeah.
That's actually the border between,
Oh.
yeah.
yeah, there is no road coming down.
For one,
Lots and lots of
or the
muscle.
river.
Well,
So
like,
4x4s
basically from here
Yeah,
north, this is the
not
only
in the
road, it
summertime.
literally is, that's all.
Well, yeah.
In the wintertime, yeah.
And that's
Sure,
gonna be
would
pretty
work.
well gravel all the way up.
Shell rock.
From where to where?
From, just outside of Dawson to Invicta Tuck, it's all that, that's the Dempster Highway,
Okay.
so. That's
Where
part
are
of
you
the
gonna use
reason why we're
tires?
going there, because I hate my tires and I wanna take them up there and have them shine.
The other thing too, Cal was watching some videos, I guess, and he said that he didn't realize how shallow or how deep the,
The road, yeah, there's a Lifestyle Overlands just finishing up their video series now, and they had, I think you probably saw it, a truck that would almost overturned. And so the road's between 3 and 12 feet thick, and you don't really think about that until you think, hey, that's a 12-foot deep shoulder.
Yeah.
So if you roll off the soft shoulder, you're doing cartwheels,
Yeah.
so.
They had the
Mass
1 ton,
tracks
they had
up
the
and
1
down.
ton, they had the 1 ton slide off.
Yeah. They did a good job recovering that, 'cause they could have very easily gone on its side.
Well, I think the driver did a good job getting off the highway considering he went in,
Yeah,
but he didn't send it on its roads.
so you have to just be wary of how you're driving, I guess.
well, we're not gonna be bombing up there at 80 or 90, I mean, it's not high speed,
No, that's a slow run
Yeah.
there.
and it's gonna be a real gas consumer too.
Yeah.
Which is why Eagle Plains is so important. We have the only gas in town, Eagle Subaru.
$6.87 a liter.
And it doesn't matter what it is, you're gonna have to
Yeah.
buy it, right?
Is that actually?
No, I'm just kidding.
We all
I wouldn't put it either, but right now, I'm calculating for my truck at 17 liters per 100 kilometers, because it's a pig, and $1.50 a liter, and we're at $4,000 for gas for the trip. So if you,
Thereabout.
yeah, so if your truck doesn't suck as much as mine,
You do a little better,
yeah,
maybe a little worse.
17's not bad because you live there. You're gonna.
I'm gonna be towing, and then any.
That's what I said. Your towing card's put that one there. Your highway at 17. Even with the towing, you're probably gonna. Yeah.
If you ship your Jeep, that means I have to tow your trailer.
No, I'd ship both of them.
Where am I sleeping on the way out?
Not my problem.
Learn
That's
to
more of a you problem than me problem. Yes, okay.
Did you not see that new video that did mom not show you the video?
No. Oh, the
The-
air mattress?
The
Yeah.
air
I was-
mattress. The
I was
Jeeps
gonna
have an
message
air
you and be
mattress,
like,
and
"Daddy."
she pull the seats all the way forward,
Mhm.
fold the seats flat, put the air mattress in, and
But
it
then
fills
I
the
need-
whole back with an air
But
mattress.
then I need the trailer for all my gear.
No,
and
no,
the
it's cut down
fridge.
time. You're talking about purging. It's time to purge.
Purge the house, not the Jeep equipment.
Oh, okay.
Most doesn't have a fuel card. That extra set of sockets is gonna cost me some fuel. So, where are we?
It's not a bad preliminary run
You
there.
got the basic, yeah,
And then coming back.
and coming back was down, I think that's the Alaska Highway or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then across the only available roads until we get Winnipeg. Does that look good?
So the back way, is that going through that Quill Lake? Did you?
Yes,
then-
Cool Lake's right up there,
Yep.
so that's actually an easy one to get to, so I guess the other question is what's gonna be there in that season to see? Cause if for migratory birds in the middle of summer.
Well, I was gonna say, whatever it's around there, you can
Late-
see.
late
It's also a good
August.
swap point for where
Yeah,
you're
that's true.
Mid to late August, things start flocking and taking.
When Eric had snow, didn't he? When he was up there, he was,
They were a couple weeks later in the year.
Or
weren't
what
they?
they
They were
came back-
the month of August. I
they were
believe.
the month of August, so,
Maybe early.
I'll just bring all my gear.
oh no. I know the trail's not big enough for that.
My trailer's not big enough for all my gear.
So what do you have for K there? 15?
Just
16K.
yeah, 15,973.
Yeah, so right sort of
So,
16.
yeah. And 186 hours of driving. So
You said 186 hours
Yeah.
of driving?
So 23 driving days at 8 hours a day gives us 7-ish or so. Actually, probably it's more than 30 days, I think, isn't it? 18 to 18, sort of like.
Yeah, I just run it 30 days and that gives us
So it gives
grace.
us about 7 days of downtime or.
You know, the Ontario, you're gonna bomb. Like, for me, I drive
As far as you could.
here, you know, I mean, the Sioux or Wawa.
Yep.
And then
Yeah,
the
first
next
3
one,
days we just going
You
crazy.
should be able to go 48 hours to get out. Come on.
With a catheter.
No, I meant 48 hours stop. Drive
Oh,
12,
Go to BZ.
get the other out. You should be able to hit Winnipeg. 3 12-hour drive days is what I would say to get out.
Yeah.
Because then you're on where you're gonna go. If you went 12 hours, and 12 hours the first 3 days, yeah, it's a long stretch.
Yeah,
But
you're buying yourself.
Everybody's excited.
that's what I'm saying. That's where you're gonna buy yourself the days in there if you stretch out the first 3 days.
we can bomb to Thunder Bay. I've done that before.
I don't know if
That's
Not just you.
and it's gonna
here.
depend on how much. Like right now, you only have
I know, it's not gonna work. That's
That's
too far.
4 in the truck, which is maxed.
no, but I meant for kids wise. Like I'm just trying to think of what youth right now are. You have Parker, Andrew, Catherine,
Matthew.
and Matthew.
That's what
Yeah, and Matthew.
So you.
Those are the only 4. No one else has had any kids that are interested so far.
From our group, we have.
Oh, you have Gavin too, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you got Gavin.
He
Yeah.
didn't take a
Sawyer's
lot of space, though.
interested.
So
So
what?
what age group are you
Sorry,
looking
Well,
at?
that's what I'm trying to figure
He
out what
wants
Cal's
to,
got.
he's
I'm
just trying
interested.
to weigh his options right now because it depends if he'll be working that summer or not.
Yeah.
He'll
So-
know more come April because if he goes back to school in September, then he'll have the summer.
Didn't have the summer off. Yeah.
Yeah, but right now he's weighing his options, whether he's gonna register in August and April for September again.
But you don't have any other scout groups that are interested in running right now.
We have 2 others.
Yep. How many of them have youth?
Both of them.
Like
So,
scout
but-
youth or
Scout youth.
venture youth?
There'll be ventures by the time the trip comes along.
Okay.
So age group, we're talking
14 to
16 plus.
21. 14 to
14.
to 18.
Sorry.
There should be
The
anyone under
majority
14,
over
right?
16.
I basically open it to senior scouts, ventures, rovers.
Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
so
no
over
little. So
19.
Parker will be
Because
the
you're-
youngest one running.
Yep.
So you don't have
Gavin.
to. So then you can. Well, Gavin, yes.
Yeah.
Say you only got 1. So yeah, then you should be able to bomb without a problem because you're not going to have kids are going to have to stop or worries or anything else there.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to just run because you got Gavin and you got Parker and everyone else is 16 plus.
And you might have, and depending on how the age of youth, like, I mean, I don't know, like Sora, he'll be driving by then, because he'll be 19.
It more comes down to bladder control.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just meant bladder control,
That's what
being in the
pop
car
bottles
for those long of time, so you should be
Get
fine
rid
with
of
there.
that.
How many,
Like I said,
how many
I was worried that you had
pedestrians
other
on the
kids from other
It's-
groups who want to run and you never know what you're going to get.
It's the
Stop
gas
that.
tank. It's the gas tank. It's the fuel.
Yeah.
It's the gas tank. We're gonna be 4 or 5 hours in gas tank,
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
and that's.
Yeah, drive
Well,
5,
if you
gas
make that
tank,
next
drive
fill,
5, gas
figure
tank.
out- Know ahead of how far gas stations are. What's
Well,
Yeah,
this,
the gas
this
station.
one will.
If
This
you
one
can
will do it.
plug all the gas stations in just to see where.
Absolutely, yeah.
This one will. This one will do it.
Yeah.
I think that's the one I've used to.
Yeah, you can gas station on this one because I've done it.
I also use Gaia.
And you can't stop for lunch for 15 minutes. You don't need
Well,
an
the
hour.
thing is, if in order to do it on the cheap, you make your own, but we're camping, right? So you're making your own
Yeah.
food, so you
But
make
then
your lunch.
you
But
have
that'd be the
to
same thing.
like,
You
when
could
you're
pull
trying to
over
do
and
that,
eat
you
for
have
15
to
minutes
take-
and go.
bring your
You
lunches
don't have
now
to.
with
Yeah,
them.
it's that's where this a little bit of the shakedown cruising
Yes,
is
exactly.
is where it comes in because everybody's going to have their own.
Yeah.
It's
Share
you
ideas
need
with that.
you need the stretch time though.
Yeah.
right? You
But I
know, you
mean,
say,
when
oh,
you're
only 15 minutes, but it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
it's
when you're
still
driving,
this.
say
We
you
do
drive
power
out.
driving.
I know,
so-
supervised.
We know it's 22 hours from our driveway to the cottage in Nova Scotia. Because, and that counts for
Because we've
one
done it.
stop.
Yeah, when we left for down east last summer, we pulled out of here at 2 o'clock and we hit New Brunswick. Left Friday at 2, we were in New Brunswick
But
by
that's-
like Saturday.
And see,
That's why we don't.
Nice.
I'm not
For
worried
the
about that.
kids,
It's
we just
the
wanted
other
to
groups
stop
that
with-
we don't
Yeah, I
know
that.
are the
Yeah.
experience. Like,
Scratch
you guys
Yeah,
gonna
if you're
drive
yeah,
and
if you're right.
we've all driven
Yeah,
to go
easy.
that one crazy times there.
Easy.
It's who else that wants to
Yeah.
join and how
And
much have they
it's not my
driven
driving
and what
unit,
they're
it's
used
the
to.
other one, and for me, it will.
Because you got the guys from
when it comes
Toronto and the
to
guys from
people that
Ottawa, right?
Fully extended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
So they're not gonna meet us here, they'll.
Yeah, they're gonna
meet
meet
up
us on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just, you know, what I mean, it's just the first couple of days to get through.
Yeah, 100%. I think if you plow, I'm
How
very
long-
with
You
them,
guys
they'll
have
be your
energy
boss.
to do that at the beginning.
How often did we stop on our trips out east?
It was every fuel tank.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
long, but you stop every fuel tank.
Okay.
Everybody gets
That's
up,
what we did last
does a little
summer.
run around,
Yeah.
Yeah.
has a bite to eat.
When we
Yeah,
last
100%.
summer
Refill,
down east,
refill.
we only stopped long, just when we needed fuel, we just
Yeah.
drove, we
Yeah.
just drove straight through. By Sunday night, we were in Nova Scotia, North Sydney, and boarding the boats on Sunday.
Yeah, because you space it on 6 hours. If you can drive for 5.5, which is your normal tank, you got a half an hour break, so every 6 hours you're stopping. Because you're taking half an hour and you're going again. So that way every day you can get 2 stops in, you get 12 hours of drive time in with your stopping.
You almost have to run 12 hours, 3 stops.
Yep.
To be on the safe side.
Yeah.
Which then
Because
brings
you
up,
gotta remember, it's
Okay.
one thing to bomb for 2 days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But for
It's
30.
for 30 days, it's, you
Oh,
don't
that's
want
the
to,
no, you're
you
gonna
don't
burn
want
out.
to kill yourself.
Yeah, no,
In
and
the
that's what I
first,
said.
you
No,
know,
it's
where
supposed
it's,
to be enjoyable.
yeah.
And that's what it. You got if you can get through that one there, then you're stopped. And your first stop should be a double day.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna bomb for 3 days, then you're gonna stop and take a 48-hour break.
Right.
Well, even then, you know, the adrenaline's gonna kick in
It's like all
until you
memories
hit Winnipeg, and then,
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you can go straight through
prairies
Winnipeg,
are the tough spot.
they are the tough spot.
You don't want to be tired going through there.
No, that's true.
because you don't wanna miss anything.
but if you stay on the hilly side, like we took I-80 across, funny starts in the States, I-80, you never knew it was flat. Because the hill, they groomed the highway like this. Till you get off the side road,
Was
then
that
you
just
go.
North Dakota sort of, or?
No, I went across Des Moines, it was a little farther south.
Okay,
And 90's the one in the high one.
right.
So it was down just a little bit lower, yeah, right in there, straight across there. And, but you never know it was flat,
Yeah.
because they groomed the highway till you got off, and then you got off the side road and we had to go into the town. And then you hit the railroad track and it was,
Yeah. See for miles.
Well,
But they
that was
groomed
something
the-
somebody else.
groomed the road,
That's
so.
what I want to know, because I mean,
If we're gonna do not to be off topic,
No.
I should, if we're gonna do something, we should make sure everybody puts on what vehicle that it's making.
Yes.
So I can update that a little
So
bit.
what's going on? Because it just-
'Cause,
Most of the people that have applied so far did tell us what they're driving.
yeah,
so that's why-
I know I didn't.
You've got one that says a van, right?
Well, yeah, there's one.
You've got the Prius, right?
No, there's no pre-I coming. But there is a minivan coming, and then everything else is
As I said, the minivan might be the one where the exception, where if we decide to swap out the Durango, we may have the Durango to run if someone wants to take a minivan.
The mini van scares me a little.
The minivan I don't think is going to make it. Like, I really honestly don't think the minivan should be able to go. Because I don't think it'll make the northern stretch by
Well,
any means.
There's a couple options there. One, I've seen videos of people driving sillier stuff out there and making it.
100%.
Not necessarily a good idea, but they've done it. But the other
100%.
option,
So you gotta be MacGyver.
well,
Make it
it's
happen.
just you have to know you're doing it. Right? The other option though is you drop them off in Dawson, St. Peter's in Illinois, and they can tool around and whatever we do this part.
Is that bad?
I'm not even thinking.
This is the part that's gonna be hard on vehicles that you can't avoid.
Is it what more, not just the shell rock, is it more just up and down the terrain wise?
I think most of it gets pretty flat.
Yeah,
It's just the shell rock and.
It's just the
Yeah.
like,
I don't think the minivan can make Dawson up. Like, based on everything I've seen and driven on the roads like that when I've driven in Northern Ontario,
Like I said.
I wouldn't even chance it. I wouldn't even let the convoy on it because you're just asking for breakdowns. Like it's just asking to delay everybody by the van calling apart. Because I don't think the suspension is good enough. That's what it comes down.
Not to mention the tires.
Well, the tires in the store, because you can put another store. It's a suspension. I literally think it'll vibrate off, and you're gonna lose parts. Like they can put $2,000 worth of rubber on it and make the rubber. But I don't think the suspension is good enough on a minivan to make that run on there. And I've taken my minivan and my other vehicles in stupid places and paid for it with gas tanks and other parts because the vibration, literally, a rock shoots up. They put the hole in there because it's too low to the ground. Like it's just space.
Yeah. The road does get groomed a couple times a year because there's heavy truck traffic on it, which heats it up.
So you have to join in.
Like I just know the lifestyle overlay, was it like the
Yeah.
last one? There, the road wasn't real pretty.
No.
But
Right.
anyway,
It wasn't real pretty.
The only part of that road that really scares me is having a truck try to pass me.
Yeah.
On the other direction, like a semi.
100%.
Because everyone's gonna drive in the middle of the road until you have to.
So yeah, you drive in the middle till you have to pass. You go that one there. If there's any northern road, would run that far. Like I said, the minivan to me, I don't think should be able to run. Like I think it's a liability to all you guys having a minivan running anything past Dawson.
I'm trying, the minivan owner isn't here, I'm taking.
No.
Okay.
I wanna do that too.
That's
I'm
one
trying
of
to,
the.
I'm trying to tap dance.
Well,
Man.
Well, that's it. That's where I think that one there. It's the only vehicle where we have to go there.
Wasn't it an Odyssey with 200 and some odd kilometers?
The kids go up.
I think it
Boys
was,
went
yeah.
in further than we did.
Yeah.
But
That-
John just couldn't.
200 cal?
So like,
Yeah.
this kind of
So
trip
that's
that
one you'd be
means
questioning too.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah, that was one that,
Frankly, to me, it's just a no. Like if it's not even a newer minivan, like I said, I don't think you can. I don't think it's safe to run that from there to from there to Tuck. Like even the run from top of Calgary all the way up to Dawson isn't the greatest of roads, anyways. That's an 50-minute that stretch alone, let alone to Dawson.
Yeah.
well, I think Dawson's is paved now,
You know,
isn't it?
it's like this kind of physically.
The highway up to Dawson is paved.
Yeah, from Dawson to the gas station just before Dexter starts, that piece is paved.
All paved now, so.
All right, well, I'll just
So
do
then,
that.
yeah, so the van could make it that far, but that's as you can't let it go to Tuck. There's no way it's a safe idea.
That's the other thing that you
And the
worry
Durango
about is
is-
when if we have a breakdown. And that's one of the lists, I put brake calipers in, I put,
Yep.
you know, what I mean, an extra brake caliper, an extra rotor. Those are things that if we have an issue and get stuck with a vehicle on breakdown, we're talking $1,000 to $2,000 tow bill.
Yeah. Or you
Yeah, I
spend
mean, it's one of the-
budget meetings waiting for it to be flown in sort of thing or whatever.
Well, I think it's gonna be that, no matter where you get towed to,
Yeah.
it's gonna be you know, because even in the lifestyle overland,
Yes.
they told them it was 3 days and $3,000.
Yeah.
Wasn't that the number that
Yeah,
I heard?
it is. Like I said, you can't break down above Dawson, or your bill is no matter what it is, even on minor breakdowns. If you're towing, you're talking G's. Like it's
Yeah.
flat out. You're talking $1 to $3 grand.
Yeah, it's a
No matter what.
2010,
How much
2010
time
down
is
on
it
Odyssey.
between Dawson
So it's
and
almost-
Highway,
Tuck?
a week.
Best case scenario, you're gonna
Yeah.
do it in 2 days.
Yeah, like regular passenger
Okay,
tires
so
are
what
gonna
if
just
anybody
die.
who
They're gonna die.
doesn't have the vehicle
Which
to
is
do
another
it, just
reason.
camps out in Dawson?
Well, and that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
They have to.
Yeah.
You have
They
to
could
cut it
actually,
off.
they
It's not
could meet
restricted.
us in Yellowknife
Yeah.
if
Yes.
they wanted to tool around and do
It's
stuff.
not restricted.
What I don't
Something
wanna
like-
do is have people driving by themselves though, so I want everything working
Mm.
teams. So if somebody can't make that route, someone else should stay with them. So they're
Yeah,
not-
if there's a vehicle alone that long.
Yeah, cause it would be,
Oh, it's
because it's,
blasted granite or whatever.
well, this is 800 and some kilometers here, so it's 400 a bit to the gas tank. 400 a bit here, another 300 almost. 270 something.
Now,
Yeah,
the
but
gas.
you're only traveling at 40 to 60.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Like,
Yeah.
And then back, you gotta do that.
There's gas in
Oh,
Tuck.
what?
Oh, there is gas in
Yes.
Tuck, okay.
There's gas here, here, and here.
yeah, you have 3 gas stops in
Oh,
between.
sorry.
It's just your time that take there because you're only
Yeah.
moving. If they're in good weather, you're moving at 60. If the roads are in good shape and you've got good weather, you're moving at 60.
Yeah.
Anything else, you're moving at 40s.
If it had rained or something, then it'd be slippery, so.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. Like it just
Have
depends
you
on the
driven
weather.
road lately or not?
4 years ago.
Yeah. So John went up 4 years ago.
Okay.
I have a daughter in Newburgh.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the thing there. Everything else's vehicles would be
Yeah.
I'm gonna wanna stop.
Because you're taking yours, and then what's the other vehicle going? You're
Mine's a
taking
Traverse.
you've got the diverse, right? Yeah, which would be the
Yeah, pretty much.
It's all-wheel drive.
yeah.
Well,
Well, you guys I'm assuming are taking you're taking your Jeeps, right? So that your two vehicles are the two lower on the end of
Who made the
there.
pickup truck? There was a Chevy pickup truck, I thought.
Yeah, there is one.
Mother?
No, mom's
No.
out.
The pickup truck was the Toronto guys, wasn't it?
Mom wants to bring the Schneidermobile.
We're not bringing the Durango, right?
Well, I can't go. That's my problem to go there. But the Durango may be available for someone to take. That's the other option. I'm going to have the Durango sitting there. Well, most likely the Durango will still be there around, so someone could take the Durango if they need another vehicle to go up.
Yeah, the other one is,
You look like you're
he's got
fearful.
a Ram 1500.
Well, the Durango's not
right
running right now because it has a catalytic. It's got a hole the size of my fist in the catalytic.
No.
So I just haven't repaired it yet. So the plan is, I can repair it if someone wants to go. I don't want
It
to get
sounds
rid of
like
my
a
Durango.
motorcycle.
I just want to. Yeah.
Gotcha.
People have done it in motorcycles.
Yeah.
The motorcycle's a lot easier than the minivan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Get a nice BMW.
Oh god.
Oh, they're
Yeah, because the rest of your vehicles should be fine on your run to go that one there. You guys are going to kill tires. Probably be a good idea for you guys to reinforce your shocks.
Yeah, my shocks are actually original still, so.
Yeah, so you can upgrade yours.
I don't know, I've looked at upgrade mine, I'm not sure, but I am in the market of a new vehicle, or
Well,
a second vehicle.
yeah.
So I'm looking for a used Jeep or something right now, I just have.
No, perfect. See, that's what I'm saying. That's what you're going to run with there. That'd be the only concern was there is to
have
whatever
connection.
vehicles are running.
Yeah, we have a
upgrade-
connection.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. So yeah, to upgrade the suspension because that's where I think is you're going to be your vehicle maintenance on your biggest thing is going to be is your suspension run
Yeah.
through that one there. Tires you're going to burn through. Everyone knows. But the suspension and the vibrating, as I've watched vehicles fall apart running through Northern Ontario, like running to James Bay and running up some there, been on the roads, driven those for hours, and watched as I drive by, pulled over to help somebody, and they're like, no, our tow truck's on the way. And it's because they vibrated everything on earth out of their vehicles, and it just busted in wear and tear, and that's to go there.
But they probably didn't know any better, just kept driving it like that until it.
Well, that's exactly what it is. People drive and it's, yeah.
It'll get me to
Did you
that
take your
place.
Jeep up?
No, my daughter moved up with the Canadian government, and they flew her car to Whitehorse, so we flew to Whitehorse to help her drive. But it was a four-wheel drive Volvo, and we had one flat,
Through that
and
place.
it was a long drive.
I was waiting for you to say minivan.
We met a couple from Austria. They rented a Toyota something car, figuring in Dawson, and they had 5 flats in a week.
Wow.
They spent all their time, their whole holidays chasing tires.
Yeah.
And that's what I said, like, I know how bad it is on Northern Ontario roads running through that stuff there. I can't imagine that stretch and how bad it's
Dempster
going
has
to
a
be on the
particular reputation for eating tires.
Well, yeah, their reputation is you will kill a set of tires on that run. Like,
You gotta, even if you were to start with a new set of tires.
Yeah.
You're gonna come back and say, I need another set of tires, it's gonna cost you a
Yeah.
set of tires.
Yeah, that's it.
16,000 hard kilometers.
After all that, it's gonna be time.
Yeah.
well, I'm just saying they'll eat a set of tires from Dawson up sometimes, depending on your tire. Like, if you're running regular, just generic, all season tires, you're going to eat a whole set of tires there and back, and you're buying a new set of tires in Dawson.
And I'll be switching to steel rims too. So.
Oh, you're going to have to run steel rims, yes. Yeah, no aluminum rims on
Oh, you
there.
don't want those little fuzzy things that are spinning around?
Well, if they hit something, you want to be able to pound it back so you can roll it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was an interesting video on the steel rims versus the aluminum rims.
I think I saw that.
It was,
The Australian guy?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was quite interesting on
Yeah.
the weight and the load and everything else. And it's all gonna come down to driver control. And that's what it
Yeah.
always comes down to is you have the odd old poop, but generally it's should be a controlled, you're gonna get the odd puncture, but if we're going that fast that you crack or bend a rim, we're over driving the conditions.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, so it's gonna take some, maybe not self-control, but it's gonna take some leadership to
It is the
Monitor-
pace, and
to
that's
monitor pace.
the guys who ran the Overland one of the videos that I watched the last time they went up there. The guys who ran it up on one of the U.S. ones.
Yeah,
They set a pace.
yeah.
They took their most heavy duty vehicle they have was the guy in front, and he set the pace along the stretch. Because knowing if he's going slow enough for his thing, everyone behind is going to stay there. Because you got the guys that want to go faster and faster, and you just got to set.
We were on a road in Death Valley, and I think 20 kilometers was pretty fast.
The potholes were like this.
Yeah, and that's where you have to be. If you got lots of rain, especially up there, it's going to based on rain and wind and conditions. You really have to base it, and then you go there. And so,
And the thing of it is, you can't avoid it, so it's not.
No, and it's what you make of it.
There's
and that's
gonna
what's it. It's all going to be about the prep. Anything you can do to minimize the to minimize things that could happen. So making sure you've got the tires, you switched out, you beefed up the suspension, all those things like that ahead of time are going to pay off on that stretch.
And then use that old thing that's dying out called common sense.
100%.
Yeah.
There is none. That's it.
Hence the dying.
Okay.
Because like the guy said on the video the other week, he's like, it was the greatest trip there. I wish I would have made it back. He got there. He actually went to that crazy, he was in Alaska and finished up wherever that crazy spot is. Yeah, way up.
Top
Yeah.
of the world.
Yeah, the top of the world one there. So that's where he finished up there. Got all the way up there. And then by the time he got up there, he couldn't get back.
Are we good?
Okay.
I think the
Big
roots.
plan.
I think the roots set.
Yeah.
Or not set, but
No, it's-
It's a good
Good
base
starting point.
plan,
Yeah.
and now everyone can look and see if there's anything along the way that's a cool stop point. Because now you got to
And
put
that-
your
yeah, now
waypoints,
it's
your stop
itinerary,
points in
so-
your itinerary along the way. I think it's a good base road to go there. Because you're going to have a lot to see.
And once the itinerary is roughly set, then we actually have some days that we can tell
Yeah.
people out there, hey, we're gonna be here between the 4th and the 5th.
Yeah, and then you can actually book out times and book out stuff and see what goes on and go that one there and things you can possibly do.
And we have support from our council to actually contact other groups on our behalf. So we're gonna be CDC ambassadors.
Oh, 100%. Like, I think is going out there, like, especially if you go there. One, get accommodations, places to stay, save yourself the extra trying to pull over on the side of the road and set up camp. There's enough spaces based on my travels across everywhere I've gone when
Yeah.
I've been able to just stop and pull over and, hey, we're with this group, this is our trip, okay, we spend that one there. You can get enough free everything along the way.
Yep. Now, in order for that to work, I have to bring up the red shirt thing again, though. I would really appreciate it if the non-scout adults would consider registering as a scout member. It's free. It makes a huge difference for things like going to a scout camp. The paperwork is
Oh,
a pain in the butt otherwise.
we just need a police check.
Yep.
It's easy.
Thank God. They're expensive.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I think that should be that one there. It would make, what, we do the savings alone for whether you have to stop and easier there and would make your life a lot easier if ever, yeah, and said it
Does
costs nothing but a
anybody
police
want to
check.
get something more?
Otherwise, you're gonna have to sign a whole lot of
Well,
the other
or,
forms.
or provincial parks and whatever, and then you're into either group sites or, $60, $80 a night for 6 people sites and all that crap. Does anybody want to hit a motel or something at some point?
I just like showers every now and again.
Yeah.
And
I'm
so,
really big on the showers.
Showers?
so that's where you can hit up to too. So
Yeah.
along the
Provincial
way,
parks have showers.
They
provincial
do.
parks have
That
showers,
would be
Our trailer
every
has a
couple
shower.
of days, something.
and some of the scout camps have showers.
Yes.
Because you can hit up 3 of the big ones, and all 3 of them have full facilities.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it depends where you want to go and add it in to go that one there. But yeah, so
I want to keep it as cheap as possible because
Let's go.
you're doing a budget of 4, yes.
it's that's the cheapest. That and Crown Land. The Crown Land is no
But no,
services.
yeah,
So you have to bring everything, right?
And Crown Land is easy in Ontario. Crown Land, once you hit,
That's, yeah, there's none that you can access here until you start getting way north.
yeah,
right?
so say the north stuff is no problem, but it's the bottom run.
There actually are spots up here, like turnoff spots. I guess they were using them for the construction at one point. But
There's a campground,
Just
just
2 campgrounds.
maybe 60 miles in from Dawson,
okay,
a Yukon Provincial Park.
Yeah.
In the Tombstone Mountains. It's
yes.
very pretty.
I heard of Tombstone. Yeah. So I'm gonna propose that I export this, send it to you guys, you can play with it. And,
In what format, KML or?
well, GPX plus I can
Okay,
also
yeah.
give you the raw data from this one because you're using
I've got it on
Planner
my
as well, so
iPad.
I'll put out one of everything.
Right.
Maybe PDF as well, just
Perfect.
because.
Yeah, just so that we can just, whether you use Gaia or whatever, you can plug it all in and go that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm open to trying different stuff.
I'm gonna be using Gaia on the way I got bought the fancy
If
membership.
somebody wants to do a Gaia workshop, that would be ideal.
It won't be me because it confuses me, so.
I'm struggling with it too, so
It can do too much, I think. But,
overlays and overlays and
Oh,
overlays.
like to use the Gaia program?
yeah, well, there's,
Okay.
depending on what maps that you purchase.
Well, if you think it'll be helpful, yes, I know that. So I will see if Vince is available.
That'd be cool.
So
Somebody that uses it regularly.
he uses it to cross the globe.
Oh, okay.
He just finished doing
Loadable off of-
what's it called?
Yeah, it is.
All
Yeah,
of
off the plate, Google.
But yes, I have.
northern,
Yeah.
I've only.
all of the northern
Poked
section
around,
of
used
Russia.
it for anything
Okay.
substantial yet, so.
We'll have to get you hooked up to our account so you can see the points in it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Why,
I'll-
it's
I'll
good for
transfer
you to
this over to
hold?
Gaia.
What's that?
You couldn't find any place colder?
No, because his work pays him to go stupid places.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, it's
I do stupid places.
100%. His work pays him to go stupid
Yeah.
places because he's got to go and run these crazy geological tests on all these crazy things when they drill holes places. So he
I
goes
thought
over
we were
there,
gonna be
drill
doing
holes.
something exotic when we did our first aid course. And there was a couple of kids from university that were going up to north of Alert, basically, to do a survey. They were getting their first aid course. I said, oh, so we need to talk about polar bear bites and stuff. Those are really easy to treat. Dig a hole.
Yeah. If you get bit by a polar
Don't worry
bear,
about it.
you don't need to worry about
They
it.
dig a hole, you bury the rocks.
Well, that's right. That's right. You're not supposed to bury anything there because it's environmentally sensitive. So you should leave the body, and the polar bear will get rid of it anyway. What did they say? Oh yeah, don't sleep in a black sleeping bag because you look like a seal.
That's right.
Especially if you flop around in your sleep.
Yeah, it's kind of like a fishing lure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Good to know.
So do you want Fred and I to put something together for the next one?
yes, please. I think that'd be great for the vehicle maintenance stuff.
Vehicles, we'll kind of condense that overlanding stuff that we
Yep.
did. I know we're running fridges in ours. Like, I don't know what anybody else, whether we're just doing coolers or what.
Yeah, I've got a little DC fridge, but it's not a decent one, and then I'll probably end up going with a cooler instead.
High quality stuff that saves ice.
Yeah.
Todd's fridge works friggin' phenomenal.
It's a fridge.
Do we want to do that at the spring meeting?
Like, just let me
Or do you want
let
to
me
do it
know.
separately, or?
It's up to you. If you want to do it, just if we're gonna get together and work through things, then
You can do like a packing list, like with a car
I'm
list.
gonna. I've started that. We did a 4-part seminar last year. And
Yeah.
just kind of.
Nice.
It's gonna be.
It's
I
probably
just
gonna
started
have to-
jotting.
I have the off-roading packing list too that we can just add on and adapt.
The other big thing that so and it kind of usually comes in a G because we've got 3 guys is toolkits.
Hmm.
We don't each. We should all have a preliminary toolkit,
Yeah.
but we don't all need
Same thing.
100 pounds of tools in each
Come on.
vehicle.
So everyone had 10 pounds of 100-pound kit.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
if you're.
Like you have your general ones, and then you take
Yeah.
a 100-pound kit,